So hello everybody and welcome to today's soul wisdom training, which is all about softening the growing pains of vibrational expansion. A really interesting topic and one that's been coming up quite a lot for myself, for my clients, and so I just wanted to really talk a little bit more into this and how we can soften that, because we can't avoid expansion, we can't avoid growth if we are wanting to create something new. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Natasha Harris, and we are here every week at 4 p.m. in the group, just talking about different ways of doing things, tapping into soul wisdom and expanding on that. So I can see somebody's watching. Just give me a hello and just let me know you can hear me. So I support conscious business owners and leaders through the ancient wisdom of the Akashic records, really to step into their soul power and create a thriving business and a life that they absolutely love. So I hope whoever's watching can hear me. Just if you're watching on a replay, if you're watching on a different platform, just type #replay. If you've got any questions throughout of today's training, please do post and comments. I do love to answer those. I love to make it relevant to you and make sure that you're getting what you need out of this, because that's what's so important as well. So what are we talking about when we talk about vibrational expansion then? We are really looking at how we are creating change. And so what we want to do is create a new experience for ourselves. And in order to create a new experience in our lives, we have to shift and change something. You know, I use this quote a lot. If we are not doing something new and different, then our lives are not changing. So we have to be doing something new and different. And that means stepping outside of our comfort zone and doing things that are different in order to create new results. If we were doing everything we needed to create those new results, it would be in our experience already. So what we want to create is not in our experience, we are not doing something. We are not taking action that's aligned to where we want to go. So it is really important that we continue to shift and do things. And, you know, we talk about our comfort zone. I don't even know what a comfort zone is anymore, if I'm perfectly honest. So let me know if you feel like that as well, because, you know, living and doing the work that I'm doing, I'm constantly and consistently wanting to create new things, that, you know, I'm doing new things, and that is challenging. It is nowhere near my comfort zone. And I have learned to embrace that. And that's really what I want to talk about today, because at the very beginning, especially in running my business 4 or 5 years ago, you know, living in that space was hard. It was tough. I was like, what am I doing? I didn't really know and understand what was going on, why it was, you know, I did to some degree, but I didn't really understand what it was that was, you know, things were tough and I was moving towards the edge of my comfort zone, but then, you know, it would seem really tough and I would kind of like slow down, kind of be tearing my hair out a little bit, and then kind of taking a few steps back. So it's quite exhausting when we do that, because what we're doing is we're stepping forward, we're almost creating that vibrational shift, and then we take a couple of steps back, we slow down because it's tough and it's challenging, and I totally get that. But what we do is we slow down that shift. So we've got to gear up again in order to create that vibrational shift, and then we kind of slow down again. So it's this kind of forwards and then a little bit back and forwards and a little back. And that is energetically very depleting. It's very exhausting, and it really does not serve us. And so what we want to do is look at that very, very differently. So what's really come up for me, and, you know, this is what I'm teaching my clients as well, because I totally get it. I remember what it's like. I'm still going through that expansion, you know, whenever I'm trying to create something new. So I'm feeling into that edges of the comfort zone and creating that vibrational shift. Now, a vibrational shift, a permanent vibrational shift, takes time. It takes physical time for it to become permanent. And so also the other side of that, what we're doing is that we are creating that vibrational shift. The results start showing up and we go, oh, thank God I can take a breather. And then we wonder why they are disappearing. So I don't know if that's what happens to some of you, then let me know as well, because that is another thing that has always happened to me. And what I did was go, oh, thank goodness the results are showing up. I've created something new. Some new clients are coming in. Some people have come my way. Some collaborations, some things have, popped up out of the blue or unexpectedly. And I take a breather and go, oh, I can relax now. But that shift in our vibration is not permanent at that point. We still need to keep going. And that's the difference, is that most of us take a bit of a breather, either when it becomes really, really challenging, or we take a step back, or we think the results have come. And then we think, oh, okay, it's time to take a breather. We need to keep going. And I'm sorry to say that that vibrational shift takes around 2 to 3 months. Can be quicker, but that's how much longer we need to keep going for. And generally, I know from my past experience and speaking to clients, is that we go through it and we get the results, and a week later we're going, oh, I can take a break. I can take a a little bit of a breather here. But we need to keep going for another couple of months. And it's not about working hard. It's not about pushing harder. I really want to emphasize that. More hard work only brings hard work, but we need to keep taking action that's aligned to where we want to go to make those shifts more permanent. If we think about it, we are layers of vibration. We are vibrational beings. And so to shift our vibrational state to be a direct match for what the results that want to come, it takes time. We need to kind of rearrange our vibrational frequency. We need to shift that frequency, and we need to start transmitting at that frequency for a significant amount of time for those results to start showing up and to keep showing up. And a lot of us do this in our finances as well. So like, we will want to have a target of, say, reaching 5K a month, and we'll reach that target and we'll go, oh, brilliant. Okay, cool. We've reached the 5K mark. We take a bit of a breather, we stop doing things, and then we slip back down, and the next couple of months are less. We need to keep going and take that. We need to make that 5K our new normal, that we don't slip further back down. So I hope that makes sense in terms of why it takes time for our vibrations to shift. Now, when things get challenging, we doubt ourselves. Our kind of monkey mind starts going like, we're not good enough, we're not all of this. And it's about really recognizing what our mechanism is, that what we do in order to keep ourselves safe, because our ego is going, well, there's too much change going on here. We're shifting so far out of our comfort zone, it's unsafe. And it's literally that reptilian brain that's kicking into action going, we're going to die. If you keep creating all this change, we're going to die. So our ego is trying to keep us safe by going, okay, well, you're not good enough. You're doing we have our own traits. All of us are different. So it's really about recognizing what our own unique individual traits are. And once we kind of overcome certain traits, our ego finds another way in the next time round. So we always have to be vigilant. What is we doing to keep ourselves safe? How is that showing up for us? And it is a bit of a pattern. You will recognize certain things that come up. For many of us early on in the days, especially, it's doubt. It's like we doubt ourselves, like, I'm not good enough. Who am I to be going out there charging these prices, putting my prices up, offering these kinds of results in certain things. And as we grow our business, those doubts might fall away. They might shift into something different, but there may be new things that kind of come up that we kind of think, oh my goodness, this is now what's coming up. Procrastination, distraction. I'm very good at distraction at the moment. I kind of get distracted by certain things, and I'm like, I want to create these new things. I'm so excited about creating them. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this stuff and I'm going to create. And then I kind of get towards the end of the day and I'm like, great, like, why haven't I done this? and it's about getting out new content. It's about it's like, it feels scary. It really does. You know, I've been pushing out content for the last couple of years, but I want to create new stuff, and it feels really vulnerable. And so I distract myself by other things that are keep moving me forward and keep creating the change I want, but are really not where I want to go. So I've realized that that's my sneaky new thing: distraction, getting busy doing other things that are still, you know, moving me forward, but not really or totally avoiding the content element of things that I want to get out there. So that's my new sneaky, and I'm like, kind of like, I joke with that, because I'm like, oh, I get it, I see what you're doing. And so with that awareness then comes a way of doing it differently. So I'm in that process at the moment. It's been going on for a few weeks now, and I'm looking at how I can shift that. So it is really interesting. So be aware of your sneaky, and then how that sneaky shifts and changes and morphs into something new and different as you kind of get okay with that. Like the doubt thing is like, okay, you know, not everybody's going to resonate with what I'm saying and what I'm putting out there, but I know that I work with people and I get amazing results with my clients. So that doubt is less for me now, but it's definitely shifted into something else, and that's really interesting. So I have this very interesting kind of dialogue with my sneaky ego when it shows up, and I can laugh at it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get what you're doing here. This is okay. We're going to sit with this. We're going to become aware of it. How's it really showing up? What's it doing? How am I doing it? How am I showing up to it? And then I can work with it to keep pushing and going through. And so when we're running a business, these things are consistent, because if we're running a business, we're constantly looking at shifting and changing. So this has to be our new norm, in being comfortable with how these vibrational shifts take place. We have to really get to understand what's going on an energetic and vibrational level, and then we can really understand what it is we individually need to do. So we can't avoid expansion when we're creating change, when we're doing something in our business. We can say it's too hard or it's too difficult, but that is not going to get us where we want. So we can't outwit fear. It's going to happen. Our ego is always going to want to keep us safe. And so if we can't avoid fear, I think it's Brené Brown that in her latest book, the first thing she says in her first chapter is that she wanted to look at how she could overcome fear. And what she went out and did was talk to some of the top CEOs for the biggest companies around the world to ask them about fear. And what she continuously got in her research was that we all feel fear. It's how we relate to fear, what we do with fear, how we allow the energy of that fear to drive us forward and do the change anyway. That creates success and movement. And success is all about failing as well. It's like not allowing ourselves to be stopped by the fear of making a mistake, be willing to make a mistake and learning from that and keeping going anyway. So it's really interesting. We will not outwit this. If that's what you're looking to do in a vibrational shift and to create change in your life, is to overcome the fear, it's going to be a very long, hard lesson in that, because it's not something that we can outwit. It is a built-in mechanism to keep us safe. And we need to work with it. What happens is if you're not feeling the fear less, or if it's not loosened its grip on you quite so much, then you need to look at what's going on. When you're doing something again to a new level, then that fear will show itself up in a really, really big way. But you will be wanting to look at how you can maneuver your way through that fear very differently and very much more quickly, because you're understanding what that fear is trying to do for you, but you want the change anyway. So what can we do then if that's what we're going to kind of have to learn to expect? That fear is going to come up, things are going to get in our way, our egos are going to get sneaky, new things are going to come in our way to stop us and to try and shake us off track and to stop us from creating that permanent vibrational shift to get new results. What can we do? Firstly, and most importantly, what I have learned most of all, and what my clients are learning, is that when we recognize it's coming, it doesn't knock us off our feet quite so quickly. So when you are creating change, be a little bit expectant of this sneaky way that something's going to come in to stop you, to deviate you away from what you want to create. Be aware that that is going to come up. Recognize it's coming. Be vigilant, be awake, be aware that this is it'll come in some way or shape or form, and approach it with a really light heart. Know it's coming, but have a smile on your face that it's coming. And when it shows itself slightly differently, instead of it knocking you sideways, keep a lighter heart about it and go, oh, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, this is interesting. How are we going to deal with this? How are we going to approach this differently this time? I see what's coming. And so we keep a lightness on it. And this is where, support from other people is really, so valuable as well, because they can really shine that light back to us and, help us to see what it is that we're doing that is stopping us from making this shift permanent. What we also need to do is really let go of something that resonates still to the old vibration. Because if we are creating something new that we want to go towards, we're moving in a direction towards something new. While we're going through the shift to creating a permanent shift, we're still kind of resonating to our old experience and what we were creating before. And that's why when we have got some new results that come and show up, we need to stay there, because some old resonant results will still show up when we're here. And that's why we need to keep going for the next couple of months, as I said before, because we need to make that shift permanent. So don't be surprised if some stuff from the old results show up a little bit. You need to be aware of those as well, but keep recognizing that and asking yourself, what can you let go of more that resonates to where you were, that's getting you old results? A great one of this is like old clients showing up. It's like, as we're about to move away from stuff into something new, old clients show up, or old ways of doing things show up, and we slip back into old things and we're like, oh, that's interesting, what's that about? And know that that is all part of the cycle. So how else can you let go of something that resonates to your old self and make space? Because when we let go of something, what we do is create space for something new to be invited into it. What we're often doing is going, I want to create a vibrational shift, but I'm not willing to let go of anything else or anyone else. And I want to keep hold of all of that I've got already and create something new. It doesn't work that way. You cannot create more without having let go of something that vibrates to the old version of you. You just can't. You have to let go of something old, someone old ways of doing things, old ways of working, anything that creates space for you to do something new and different. We are all busy enough. We are all doing enough already. So if you want to create new results, cramming more in is going to overwhelm, is going to stress you out, is going to put your adrenals on absolute high alert. Fatigue are going to make yourself ill. This is where we get kind of autoimmune problems coming in, because what we're doing is we're trying to cram even more in and we're desperate to create new results. So we're going even harder and further, and we are not willing to let go of the old. And we have to let go of the old in order to invite something new in. It's just the way it works. We're all doing enough. Because if we were doing everything we needed to do to create the new results, we would have them already. So if those new results are not showing up, we are not doing the things that are vibrationally aligned. We're doing too much that is vibrationally aligned to the old ways of doing things and not enough of what's vibrating to the new. So we need to do something new and different, right? So when we're creating this vibrational shift into something new, and we're kind of like, the ego is coming in and going, oh my God, this is really scary. This is like, oh, procrastination, distraction, as I said, for me. Hi, Rob, how are you? As we're doing this vibrational shift, we need to keep going. And what I said earlier was that, sometimes what I tend to do is like, oh, my new results are showing up. Oh, I'm going to take a bit of a breather because like they're showing up, but we haven't created that permanent shift yet. And that's the point where we recognize we mustn't slow down, we mustn't stop. This is not working harder. I really have to stress this is not about doing more. This is about continuing to let go of what we were doing that keeps vibrating to the old you, and kind of just keep going with new stuff that vibrates to where you're going. It's about tweaking. Let go of something, tweak something new that you're doing, you know, because very often what happens is that we're doing stuff, we're almost there, and it's just this final little tweak that we do to something that goes, and it lands, something unexpected lands. The number of times that happens to me, but what I used to do was go, this isn't working, I'm going to stop. That is not what we want to do. This is about tweaking. And it's not about adding a whole bunch of stuff. Add one thing at a time. Look at the results. What's happening? What's changing? And if that's not working, tweak, add something else, let go of something else. So doing one thing at a time, because what we then can see is the action that we're taking, that is getting the results that we want. So we're going in this direction. We're going from what we were to where we want to go. And it's quite complex. It's not always that easy, but you know, it's about how we do that. So keep tweaking, keep taking action that's aligned to where you want to go, not to where you were before the results are showing up. We have to change something. We have to. We can't keep doing what we're doing and expect new results. We just can't. That's not how it works. Einstein said that, one of my favorite quotes of all time. So we have to change something. If we're doing it already, we would have the results we will have. So take more action, because it's about the action that grounds the vibrational shift into the third dimensional reality to create the results. It is the action that creates the shift. It is not about saying I need to, yes, we need to work on our thoughts, on our beliefs, on our mindset. That's a big part of what I do. But it's not only that. If we only focus on our mindset, the thoughts and our feelings and not take action, we will not be able to ground the shift and create results in the physical reality. We have to take the action. And in that, we do shift our feelings and our thoughts as well. Often what happens is we shift our feelings and our thoughts, or we work on our feelings and our thoughts, and it creates new action. But there are many people out there that are only working on thoughts and feelings and not doing anything new and different. They're still wedded to I want to create change, but I'm only going to do what I've always done. I try and think and feel my way out of it, but that's not what works. So embrace the breakdown that comes just before the breakthrough. This is really important, because it's that final push, that final tweak that creates the results. You know, we are just trying to keep ourselves safe. So it is often that we have this kind of feeling of like, oh my goodness, what else can I do? Why is this not coming? Been there doing that, you know, consistently. And then all of a sudden you'll tweak something, you'll let something go, you'll move into something new, and it comes. It just lands, and you're like, oh wow, that used to surprise me. Now I kind of like learn to expect it, because I'm expecting the breakdown. It's not really a breakdown, but it feels like a breakdown. I'm expecting the breakdown because I know on the other side of that is my breakthrough. It's still challenging, and that's okay. We can't outwit the fear. We can't outwit that fear of creating change in our lives, because it's uncertain. But if we want change, we have to lean into that, know it's coming, embrace it, recognize how we're doing. Kind of like Labour, final push to bring the results. Yes, apparently so. Don't know that for myself, but yes, a little bit like that. Because if we stopped, we wouldn't get the breakthrough, right? So, you know, no, it doesn't have to stop you. Please don't allow these kind of feelings of breaking down to stop you. Keep going. Let go of something. Absolutely let go of something. Tweak something, change something, create space for something new to come in. So I've given you quite a lot there. Sorry about that. I got a bit excited about this because it's quite a hot topic, and I love this kind of work because, you know, if we want to create the results, we have to be a vibrational match for those things. We can only invite into our lives what we are a vibrational frequency match to. Otherwise, we can't do it. We are it already. We just need to align to it and we need to create it. We need to it comes from within us. When we align to it through the action that we take, the action that we embody, the things that we embody, the results show up. So thank you to the few of you that have been watching with me today. If you've got any questions, let me know, type them in the chat box. Would love to answer them. If you're watching the replay, just type #replay, ask me any questions you have. And if this work resonates with you and you feel like you're constantly going through this vibrational breakdown, breakthrough, breakdown, breakthrough, and you're not quite sure how to tweak it, and you want some support and you want to know a little bit more about how the Akashic Records can really help you to understand the energetics behind the work that we're doing, then do reach out, get in touch with me. Let's have a chat. Let's see how we might be able to work together and take this forward to create the permanent shifts that you want so that the results land in your experience. So good luck to you all for creating that vibrational shift. And I will see you again next week. Actually, excitingly, next week I'm doing an interview with the beautiful Diana Sampson, and we're going to be talking about lunar cycles in business and how we can use those to really reflect back. She's going to give you some tips and tools around that. So I'm really excited to be chatting to her and giving you some different perspectives on how we can do life and work and business. So bye for now. See you again next week. Let me know if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching.